Since the escalation of the Israel-Hamas conflict following Hamas's terror attack on the 7th of October, the West's eyes have moved from Ukraine to Israel in dramatic
there's a sense that whenever there's conflict in the Middle East, that people immediately say that somehow Russia is going to benefit, and I'm not always sure how true that is. Certainly, probably he does see American attention on this conflict as somehow beneficial. But for the Russians, what they have traditionally wanted, and this goes back to the Soviet era, is that they like to have simmering conflict in the Middle East. They don't want conflict resolution. They don't want peace, because that way people don't really need Russia. But they don't want outright war either, because it has a habit of the side supported by Moscow is often on the losing side, or certainly not the prevailing side. I think the real problem is that if this is an expanded war, if say we have an Israeli-Hezbollah conflict, well, obviously the Israelis are going to be pounding Hezbollah positions in Lebanon at minimum. Does this mean that Hezbollah will end up withdrawing its fighters from Syria to Lebanon? And if that's the case, does this simply increase the burden that Russia has to bear for propping up the Assad regime? The Assad regime, they've done pretty well by it so far, but if Assad's opponents see Hezbollah leaving, do they become emboldened? Russia doesn't need a conflict blowing up in which it might not be able to help its own allies very much. So I think that they really want there to be a ceasefire.
I mean, I think that this is the question in everybody's and everyone's mind. Is this conflict going to escalate?